YouTube, how we doing? It's Matty B. Thank you all for watching the channel. As always, I appreciate each and every one of y'all. It means a lot to me that y'all are interested in the content and keep tuning in. Today, I just got a little bit of a podcast with the boys from Vurbmoto. My guy Brad Gebhardt from MX Radio did a pod with me after the Muddy Creek two-stroke Cody Gragg Memorial National, just kind of detailing the weekend and talking about my past with the Graggs and just how much the race means to me and all sorts of things moto. And it was a good conversation. I always love talking moto. It's a fun time. And my boy Brad sent this over to me so I could post it up. So I figured I'd share it with you guys in case you haven't seen it already and don't know about it. Vurbmoto, they got tons of good content on their site. Vurbmoto's OG. Like, I grew up watching Vurbmoto on Vurbmoto's videos and just surfing Vurbmoto throughout school hours whenever I was a kid. And they're OG, they're all things moto, so go check out Vurbmoto. They crush it with the content. So with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoy and thanks for listening.
Welcome to a Big MX radio podcast. I'm going to start that off because I've been saying that for a million years. This is going on Verb. Where am I? Why am I not? Video. There we go. Welcome to a Vurbmoto broadcast. I am your host, Brad Gebhardt. With me on the line, very special guest. You know him on YouTube. You might find him in an LCQ every once in a while, or possibly qualifying straight into a national. He rips a two-stroke, and he was at the Cody Gragg Memorial race this last weekend. He has quite the story to tell, so we got to dial him up. Matty B, what's going on, Matt?
Not a whole lot. Just sitting here trying to get a little R&R in. I've got a pretty swollen up leg and quite a bit of pain in the contract, so we're just relaxing, trying to lay low and recover from the absolute 7-lap war that I tried to commence in with one leg.
Rest and recovery, exactly what's needed for the 820 in your program. Matt Burkeen joining us here. Dude, you had yourself a tale of 1,000 races this last weekend. Went down hard on the Saturday, ended up crawling your way back onto the line for Sunday. Kind of take me through the whole weekend itself, as well as how much it means to you. Of course, this being the Cody Gragg Memorial race, someone who is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, well, first of all, this race, it's always been special to me. Even, when they first started it, I think back in 2017, I wasn't even racing it yet, but it meant a lot to me. Cody and Chris were great friends of mine and really everybody else that they ever came across at the races. I grew up spending a lot of my time at the tracks with Cody and Chris, and Cody was even my roommate at South of the Border for a few years. So we were very close. And I'll never forget where I was and what I was doing when I heard that news. It honestly just killed me, and I know we all miss him. But it's definitely cool to have a two-stroke race, like a short sprint type race with big money. It's like perfect to do in their honor. So it's always a fun event. For me coming in, I've been having some health issues this year. I think we're dealing with like some Epstein-Barr or something like that. I got tested for mono and they said I was good on that, but I've just been having a lot of fatigue issues, like not really any energy. And I've been getting tired really quickly, bad arm pump, and just kind of feeling like a sack of crap out there. But the qualifying race for the Cody Gragg race, it was only 4 laps. So I pulled a big hole shot in that and ended up second behind Matty Jorgensen on his 300. So I was actually feeling really good going into the Sunday race. I wasn't, last year I was able to come out with the win. So I didn't necessarily have my sights set on that. Obviously, I wanted to win, but I didn't think that was really in the cards. But I was just hoping for like a solid top 5 to 6 ride. But then the next moto, the 250 Pro-Am on Saturday, like I said, I've been dealing with the fatigue and stuff. So I was kind of on my way back. I just got passed by Luke Nice, and I was trying to cut back down under him from the outside to in. And I mean, this was completely my fault. And I had no idea there was anybody behind me. But I went to go outside and shot across a couple ruts, and Rod Bell was already right on the inside of me, fully committed, and just slammed me. And I'll have a video posted later tonight on my YouTube, but it sounds like a freaking plane crash or something. Like, it has to be the hardest collision I've ever seen or heard. And it just like blew me off the bike, ran straight into my leg, and smashed it in between like my bike and his bike. And I kind of thought it was broken, but didn't know. So I rode back to the pits, got the boot off, and I was actually walking around on it a little bit. And then after I stopped walking on it, sat down for about 5 minutes, it just swelled up like crazy. So we made the game time decision to go to an urgent care to get some x-rays. And then the urgent care took one look at me and outsourced me straight to the ER. So I had to spend a good portion of the evening in the ER. They went straight to do a CAT scan or a CT scan on me because they were worried about compartment syndrome and stuff like that, just because it was like so blown up. Like, I've never seen anything really swell so quickly. But somehow the CT scan, they said everything was cool. They said it was just a huge hematoma. So I at this point I still had absolutely no plans of racing. I mean, actually at this point I was on morphine, which I don't think is good the night before the race probably. But it was really painful that night. I think I only got like 2 or 3 hours of sleep on Saturday night at the hotel, and we got up Sunday. We were just going to go try to watch all the pro classes and watch the two-stroke race, because if I wasn't going to race it, I'll be damned if I wasn't going to at least be in attendance and watch. You know, it's always good racing. So me being a fan of the sport, I was going to be there to watch at least. And we watched the 250 Pro and 450 Pro AM motos in the morning, and it was just tearing me apart, man. It was killing me to not even be able to go out there and try. So, like I was telling you right before we started this, we after the first 450 Pro Am moto, we were headed out to Walgreens to go get pain medication, and like a quarter of the way there, I just looked at my girlfriend. I was like, I don't know if I want to take these meds yet. Like, I kind of want to see if I can put my foot in a boot and try this. So, I on the way back from the Walgreens, I called my girlfriend's dad, the Legend super fan. He got a new tire put on there for me because one of my main goals was to get that whole shop money. So last second, I decided to suit it up, and I think the hardest part of the day was trying to kickstart my bike because it's my right leg. So the
Yeah,
first
your
time
right leg.
I kicked it, I think I actually might have shed a couple tears. But whenever I got down to the gate, I actually had somebody else start it for me before the sight lap. Even my competition, Kyle Bitterman, he saw me standing there waiting for somebody to start my bike for me, so he
Class
started it
act.
for me. Yeah, that's definitely classy for sure. So thanks to Kyle for doing that. And I had somebody else start it for me before the race, and um, I would kind of use the sight lap to test it out. Like, I was pretty like 50-50 if I was even going to be able to do it, but rode the sight lap, and I figured if I could get through that, I'd be good. And I made it through that. So I just, I just had to make it to the gate drop so the adrenaline would take over, because it was pretty brutal. Like, my leg would barely even fit in the boot.
Yeah, man. Like, honestly, that was the epitome of the college try. Like that is the way. Like, the for anyone who doesn't, if they don't already follow you on social media at I believe it's Burkeen820 on Instagram.
I think it's just Matt Burkeen, actually.
Okay, fair enough. Either way, if they're not already following you, they need to. Your story, it was grotesque, but at the same time, like the intrusive thoughts in my own, like I want to look at that sort of thing and be like, that thing was impressive. Like, that thing had some girth and length to it. It was something to be seen, and yeah, you went out there and raced with it, man. Like, that is the heart of a motocross racer. Instantly have FOMO, regardless of your own personal health. You still want to get out there, ride. Not only because it means a lot to you being the Cody Gragg Memorial Race, but money on the line, and like, it's an exciting race to be in. Of course, this is part of the Vurbmoto Shred Tour. This is one of the last stops of the year. And you were on hand for it. You won this race last year. That's like sort of what sort of kicked off all of this stuff that's taking you to where you're at right now. Like, a sort of a calendar year ago, your YouTube hadn't blown up the way it had, and just all the sort of the buzz around Matty B in general, it seems to have been kind of coming to a head. And yeah, it would have been a bummer to not see you on the line for that.
Yeah, I mean, last year that was probably like the best riding I've ever done in my entire life, especially like that two-stroke main event. Like, it just everything went perfect, and like you said, just mainly who the race is for. I mean, the money on being on the line is cool too, but if this was any other race, I really don't think I would have probably participated. But being that it's at Muddy Creek too, which is like my best track, and just who it's for, where it's at, like, I mean, I've said it before, but I just felt like I had no choice to at least try. And the bummer was, I mean, even for that much money on the line, 7 laps isn't that long. But the race, or the year before, it was only 6 laps, and I thought it was going to be 6 laps again. So I'd kind of like put a little bit of a charge on to make some passes, and I did not get the white flag when I thought I was going to get it, and the freaking bottom just fell out of me because, like I said, I mean,
I hate that.
I
You're
was
looking for
all
white, you just don't get it.
yeah. And I was all like on pain medication the night before and stuff. So like my body wasn't feeling very good. I was on no sleep. So my whole body was trying to shut down on me, which the last few laps, it almost made me forget about my leg just because the rest of me felt so crappy too. But it was the toughest part was just any right hand corner, which there was a few like off cambered right handers. I just couldn't really do much in them. And on the off chance that I did screw up and dab my leg, it was just like detrimental to the next couple sections. It was taking a lot out of me.
Certainly. Yeah, that is like anytime you have a leg injury, whether it's a big Charlie horse or you're in your case, it was sort of a lower leg injury, correct? Like it was like
Yeah.
below the knee.
Yep.
That's gonna be tough for you. But yeah, you nutted up and you hit it. Side note, remember Nut Up? That was like a sponsor for Supercross like
I sure do.
6 years
Yeah.
ago, and then they packed up their bags quickly thereafter. But for those who are listening who aren't fully aware of it, they don't understand sort of um, the gravity of this race. Cody Gragg, a guy who I was fortunate enough to have on the podcast. Unfortunately, it was the very same year. He and his dad were involved in a accident which ended up taking both their lives. But like very much like you, he competed in the outdoor nationals on a YZ250, like something that a lot of other racers have done, but he did it with a lot of style and integrity, and just such a great guy. And it really speaks volumes to his character. How this race continues to be special, continues to be something that a lot of racers like they mark on the calendar that they want to take part in. You're certainly one of them, and yeah, like I think it's like you probably you know him a whole lot better than I did. But it certainly speaks volumes to just how great of a guy he was, and the fact that we continue to celebrate him years later.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's been, I think we're closing in on 7 years since they've been going, and the race just keeps on getting bigger and bigger. I mean, I think it says a lot about it whenever a guy like Aaron Plessinger puts in 10K into the purse. It's not just for nothing. This race, Aaron knew Cody and Chris Gragg just like I did, and for any of us that knew those two, it hits different. It really does. They were really special to the motocross community. I feel like everybody knew them, and they never met a stranger either. And every amateur national, Loretta's, Minios, all that stuff. I feel like we all would just go and gather at the Graggs and just mess around, talk, and just shoot the shit, just whatever we could. And Cody's mom and Chris's wife, Lisa, she was like a second track mom to me at the races growing up, and she still shows up to this race every year, and she shows up to some of the indoor events from Victory Sports too, which it's just like it's just such a family atmosphere. The Graggs always used to race the Victory Sports events, and they were tight with the staff, just like they are everybody else. Like I said, they're just friends with everybody. So it's just cool. Like the entire community, as well as like our local community, we all come together to do this race and honor those two. It's really special. There's nothing like it. And even this year, and I think a couple of years in the past too, like it was all cloudy and gloomy all day. And then I swear, right when we're in staging, loading the gate for the Cody Gragg race, sun comes out and just beams down on us like nothing else, man.
Yeah, no, it truly, truly is special. And yeah, shout out to AP, like just digging into his jeans. Although pretty tight jeans, as I noted recently. It's got, I guess that's part of the look. Yeah, $10,000. That's to a privateer, that's a serious amount of money. Were you able to come away with a little bit of purse money for your efforts? Like you sacked up and rode. Obviously, you didn't do as well as you did last year, but did you get something for your troubles?
Yeah, I mean, I always got something. The only thing that was a little bit of a bummer for me is the last lap. I think I lost like 4 spots because I was just pretty much done and just didn't want to take any chances to like hurt my leg even more. So I think I lost like $200 just on the last lap, but I still did come away with 500. So that's like nothing compared to the winning payout from last year. But I've been telling people at least it's a little bit of a down payment on my ER visit because that was maybe in the back of my mind that might have been a little bit of extra motivation too. Like I had taken myself to the hospital, so I mean that bill's got to get paid sooner or later.
No kidding. Yeah, like being from Canada, the fact that we have that sort of stuff, like that's like part of our medical system. So that wouldn't even cross my mind as far as
Yeah.
but for the States, completely different ball of wax. Um, Aside from this race, obviously this one's important to you. You're able to get some content, put it up on YouTube. That's been extremely successful for you, and I'm going to tell you why it's been successful for you, Matt. Is the key to being successful on social media is to like the like experts was, oh, just be yourself, post however much you think you should post, be genuine, do all these things. You do that automatically. That's not like a manufactured thing for you. And that's why your YouTube, like whenever someone's like they sit themselves down, okay, I'm gonna be a YouTuber. That almost never works because it's almost you're trying to force something. What you do on YouTube is so organic, it's so like genuine and from the heart, and you just sort of like let people in on your world. And believe it or not, there's thousands, sometimes even millions of people who would love to be able to kind of take like be taken on that journey, and you're able to do that for people. And yeah, I think actually what I'm going to do is also make this video available to you shortly after our interviews, because I know that like my boys over at Verb, Wes, he's not a huge fan of the Zoom call video content. Like this will definitely end up being a podcast on Verb, but I gotta up my game as far as video production quality before this ends up on the Vurbmoto YouTube channel. But that doesn't mean we can't make it available for your YouTube, and if that does in case make it say hello to everybody here on your YouTube channel. It's something that's been successful for you, and you know in a lot of ways maybe supplementing a little bit of those races you weren't able to make it into after Redbud this last year, where things kind of all just went sideways for you.
Yeah, definitely. And like you had said, starting out, like people set out to, oh, I'm going to be a YouTuber and it doesn't work out. And the kind of the beauty of it is I never really set out to be that. Like my girlfriend used to film my races and she told me that she thought it'd be cool if I started posting them. So I started posting them. And at first they didn't really catch on because like it was just little local stuff, not really much going on. But then I had a couple that were like pretty exciting, fun battles, like two-stroke versus four-stroke type stuff. And then I had a battle with Nick Romano at south of the border where I was doing this wall jump to try to keep up with them. So that got me some eyeballs as well. And then we never had vlogged until the start of the outdoors last year. But the first round we went to High Point, we were just like, we might as well vlog it. Like we didn't think we were going to make money or like any of this numbers on audience or anything. Like we were just like, it's going to be funny. It's going to be a shit show. So we might as well film it and show people. So we really just started it out for fun and it caught on a lot more than I expected. And I really would have never expected it to keep going like it has been because over the winter, last winter, I was hurt a lot too. So I started getting into filming a lot of the arena cross stuff, just all the carnage and chaos and
Arena
fights.
Crash, that did kind of become your thing.
Yeah, you name it. There's all kinds of action in Arena Crash. So I was thankful to be able to build my audience that way over the winter without even racing. So that was pretty cool. And then over the summer, obviously, my goal and the whole reason I was going to those races was to qualify and race. But the second half of the season, we really did fall apart. I think part of that, part of it was mental, but I think part of it too was the physical stuff I've been going through with the fatigue. It really started to wear on me. But it was nice that, if you qualify, I think with a contingency in the purse, it's like $900. Then if you don't, it's zero. So that's a pretty big drop. But it was really nice to be able to film some of the races and just try to do some different content stuff to try to, like you said, just try to supplement that income that I wasn't getting from not making the races. And I really enjoy it also. Like it's not like I was running around the track filming like, oh, I'm gonna be able to make X amount of dollars filming this. Like it really is just passion. Like I love the sport. I really do enjoy filming the riders. They make it look easy and they do sick stuff out there. And even whenever I was younger at SOB, like if you go really deep on my YouTube channel, I even have videos of Cody Gragg that I used to film like on a little camcorder back in the day. Whenever my
Nice.
when my bike would break, I would just head straight back to the room and get a camera and come out and film people. So it's kind of always been something I've kind of had a knack for and had interest for. And it really, like I tell everybody now, it's really just beyond a glorified hobby that's kind of turned into a job. So I didn't plan for any of this, but it's been a lot of fun, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, like I said, we enjoy being taken along for that ride. Like so, a lot of things, even that I get to be able to participate in on a weekend basis, where I end up going to these races, whether it's Loretta's or MXDN. Like I get to go on the other side of the curtain or the other side of the velvet rope that a lot of the other people who could only wish to be able to do that. And if I can sort of let them come along with me on that, they're happy to share it. So yeah, I've been getting a lot of positive reinforcement on that side of things on YouTube and yourself as well. So hopefully that continues. And like I said, honestly, one of the reasons why I think you're so successful with it is that it's not a forced thing. You're just genuinely letting people in on the best kept secret in the world is that being a professional motocross racer is a really fun job to have. And people are more than happy to come along with you on that journey. The only thing this weekend, and honestly, this is probably mostly to blame as to why you got hurt in the first place, all of the pain that you went through the weekend, and what you're feeling right now is that you did not wear the white and black 2002 Fox gear that I sent you. You could have wore it this weekend. It could have been awesome. You didn't wear it, and you suffered the consequences, Matt. And yeah, I know you gave me the shout out on the vlog from Unadilla, but yeah, like you still have that gear and you fumbled, and rightfully so.
No, honestly, you are right. And it actually, before I checked the weather, I had that gear folded up and at my door ready to take it. And then I checked the weather. It said rain. And man, I didn't want to dirty up the legendary
Oh, come
O2 white.
on.
It stayed white for 21 years. I didn't want to be the one to ruin that, but yeah, I should have ran it by you and
You
sent it.
should you should you should have ran it, man. Honestly, like that stuff washes up nice. And it's also that if you probably noticed at Unadilla, that jersey doesn't vent for shit.
It
So it would
is
have been nice.
heavy. Those
Yeah.
pants are weigh 25 pounds at least.
Oh, for sure. Those are like the rubber TPR badging on the like that's enough to weigh you down. Maybe grab a second or two on the lap times. But
Yeah,
that was pretty cool. My completely unbeknownst to my old man, that's not my gear. That's my dad's gear.
that's
And yeah, you rocked it, man. It was a good look.
Yeah, that it looked way better than even I was expecting, and I thought it was going to be cool. I mean, you could even tell like in the pictures and videos, it was all baggy, like the old school stuff, because
Yeah.
the school Fox stuff I feel like is extra tight, and I've never really worn any of that stuff until super recently. So I finally started getting used to that new tight stuff that kind of makes me look a little thin, and then I got into that O2 gear and uh, freaking set the scale off record to the maximum pounds and was a little weighed down, a little baggy, but it looked sick. I felt like I was straight out of O2. And I mean, all the photographers, all the riders, they thought it was sick. People were asking me if it was
AP
really,
liked it.
yeah,
He's
people
on
were
the
asking if it's really O2 gear. And I was like, yeah, like look at the patch right here. It says O2.
Yeah, no doubt. Like how do you it's the Fox deal that you have, like what's like it's is that rider support, they send you X number of sets of gear throughout the year, what's the deal there?
I don't really know how to explain it. Like they've definitely taken great care of me, but like I don't really have like a set deal. Like they've kind of just he's always asking me what I need and Kenny Day, I'm talking about
Yeah,
the
kind
Fox,
of, yeah.
ask me what I need, and I usually tell him I don't need much. But before Paula, I just asked him if he had any extra boots or anything like that because I was out of boots. And at the first round, he hooked me up with like some helmets, boots, gear, like the whole charade, which was really cool because I mean I've never really looked so sick in my life. I was really hyped on that, and then
Yeah.
they were getting me goggles ready for the races too. And then even at Colorado, they gave me a couple more things. I don't really have like a set in stone deal, but I'm definitely well taken care of. And I feel like I'm taken care of even a little better than I deserve. So I really do appreciate it because I never would have thought that a company like Fox would be looking out for somebody like me. So it's pretty sweet.
No doubt. Great company. They're kind enough, Fox Racing Canada, kind enough to send me some stuff. I've received two or three boxes now, where it's a big, massive box full of like 4 or 5 sets of gear, a couple sets of boots, or a set of boots and a helmet. And yeah,
That's
to have a box from Fox show up, yeah, it doesn't get like I always say on this podcast, you either wear Fox or you wish you did.
exactly. It's so iconic, man.
Right. And my favorite kit of yours this year was, of course, if I'm not mistaken, you run an FMF exhaust pipe and silencer, yes,
Deep circuit.
and the pro circuit gear.
Now
Hey.
I modified it, dude. It says DBK circuit.
Oh, okay.
The people I was staying with in SoCal before Paula, they ride for DBK and they had
Yeah,
some irons. And I really wanted to wear that gear, but I didn't want to rep the wrong company. So we just put DBK over where it says pro. So that gear is actually the only custom gear in the world that's DBK circuit.
fair enough. DBK
I,
circuit. I
I,
like it.
I wore it on Friday at Muddy Creek, DBK circuit.
I like it, man. That's sweet. Well, before I let you go here on the Big MX Radio podcast, on Vurbmoto, I need I need one or two Cody Gragg stories out of you, man. Like this is sort of like in memory. This particular podcast. What I'd still like to do with you is get a few people together that have Cody Gragg stories, but lay one on us. Maybe one of the better stories that you have, either training with Cody or a travel story or something along those lines. Like this podcast is definitely in memory of his great legacy.
Yeah, I think the first one that comes to mind to me, we were all at Loretta's, and like bridge jumping wasn't anything I was ever into either, but I was just like with this group of friends and another friend of ours. They were trying to get him to jump off the bridge and he wouldn't do it. And Cody was one of the main people trying to egg him on to get him to do it. And my buddy's like, "Man, I'm not giving in to peer pressure. Like, just give it up." And Cody goes, "Man, it's not peer pressure. It's just your friends telling you to jump off a bridge."
I
So good. And he's so
like it.
meant it. Like he was totally like, "Yeah, I'm not peer pressuring you at all. I'm just telling you to jump off this bridge."
That is, yeah, as genuine as it gets.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and dig up the audio from the original interview that I did with him so many years ago. Yeah, this is special, man. I really appreciate you taking some time to chat about your weekend. Hopefully, your leg gets better. I assume you'll be on the shelf, maybe going through some footage and putting that on YouTube for the next week or two. And then yeah, like what's on the horizon for Matt aside from some rest and recovery and some ER bills?
I wish I knew, but I honestly really don't. I actually just was looking on Instagram right before we did this, and I saw a pro am at South of the Border that's in like a month. So if I can be healed up and healthy for that, maybe I'll do that. But I've just been struggling really like the whole second half of the year with the health issues and stuff. So I'm not really too sure how what we're going to be into going forward. I mean, if I can get to where I'm feeling better pretty soon, then maybe we can have a good year next year. But it's just been so long since things have been going right, and there's just been so many issues. I haven't really been able to plan much further ahead than just trying to get myself back right. So I think as for now, that's priority number one. No matter what I do, we'll definitely find a way to keep the content going in some capacity. Like this weekend, there's going to be a $20,000 pro purse race, like an hour and a half from my house. I'm not going to be able to race it, but I will be going there and finding a pit bike and trying to get as much content as I can, ripping around that place. So just stuff like that. Like if I can't participate, I'll do my best to help bring it to the people at home. And I mean, racing dirt bikes and watching people race dirt bikes is entertaining as hell. And we've got Arena Crash coming up soon too. So I should be able to find some way to stay busy. I just don't know exactly what yet.
Certainly. Well, hopefully that doesn't involve you slamming into a concrete wall at any point. That was scary. Although probably got you a lot of clicks on the old social
Not,
media.
not worth it.
No, not worth it. Not even in the slightest. Follow Matt Burkeen on social media. If you're not already subscribed to his YouTube channel, do exactly that. Like this video as well as hit that notification bell so you never miss a single episode with Matt Burkeen. Thank you so much for making the time today, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Always a pleasure. And long live the memory of Cody and Chris Gragg, man. 298 forever.
Amen to that. Thanks again.
Yes, sir.